Welcome to Planning Phase Syndicate Star Wars Unlimited podcast. How are you tonight? It is episode 11. It's the final countdown to all the spoilers for Shadows of the Galaxy. I cannot believe it. We're finally here, ready to go, ready to play some new cards that have come out. So they've officially released all the spoilers, all the NDAs are off, all of that fancy jazz. We're here. We're going to be able to talk about everything that they actually have released. And hopefully we're going to give you something that you can build decks with. Now, I will say, I had all this other stuff planned. Like, I want to do draft stuff. I want to do like an early ranking for all of the different villains and heroes. But the problem I'm having is we have all these new spoilers. If I do that, then we won't get through all the spoilers. So we're going to commit to getting through the 54 spoilers that we have for tonight, talk a little bit about where that kind of leaves us, and then kind of see how much time we have after that. Joining me on mic tonight is JJ. The Giants still suck. How are you tonight, sir?
Doing all right. Got to go over to a local store today. Big shout out to Larry's Game Store here in Olathe, Kansas. Had a great time playing locally with some of the players there, and hope to see some of them in the tournament on Tuesday that they're going to have.
Awesome. Also joining me on mic and eventually on video, Alex. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing okay. Although it was kind of funny just seeing a giant green screen of me on the stream. Don't know what's up with that.
I don't either. You were there and then you're gone now. So
he's hiding from the FBI.
Yeah, there you go. I'm coming from an undisclosed location.
Yeah, so you give me a minute, I'm sure it'll clean itself up. So, but hopefully you all had a good weekend. I know we here at Planning Phase had a pretty good weekend. I had a buddy's remembrance this week. So we were out at that this afternoon, and I'm very thankful that it was not 100 degrees, because that was something that was a possibility. But we were out being able to remember him and all of that fancy stuff, essentially. So happy to be able to remember my buddy. That's why I'm got my Iron Man. He was a big Iron Man fan, so got my Iron Man shirt on tonight to represent for him. But I don't know. What'd you all do this weekend?
I slept till like 5 o'clock, both today and yesterday. So
how I envy you, man.
I'm just very tired. Apparently, I'm still very tired, so that doesn't help.
Were you sick or something, or just
nope. Just decided it was sleep time because I was very tired.
Well, yeah, I'm just sick of work. Yeah, just been out here, still hustling and bustling, just working out here in Kansas and stuff, and still trying to hit up, as many stores as I can to play, get as many pickup games as I can to, just to get some more practice as I'm going in there, and yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's not delay the inevitable. We got some spoilers. Get ready for our Galactic Gazette segment. All right, welcome back to our Galactic Gazette segment. Yes, folks, we have a million spoilers to go over. I figured the best part would be why don't we go over the two new leaders that essentially round us out? Why don't we do that? Because that just seems to be the easiest and the best way to do it, because then every other card we talk about, we can go, oh, this relates to this person, or this doesn't relate to this person. And we don't have to pretend. Which I should have thought about that when we did these before. We always waited to the end for the leaders. We just done them to begin with. So, Alex, which leader do you want to cover tonight first?
Oh, I have to go with Jabba. So cool. Okay, so he's a green-black. As an action, you can exhaust him, choose a unit. For this phase, it gains bounty. The next unit you play this phase costs one less. So if you capture or kill that unit, you get to play the next one for one less. And he comes out on 7, and he is a 212. He's got a massive booty on this guy. It's awesome. I thought Palpatine was big, but Java's bigger. And when he's deployed, another friendly unit captures an enemy non-leader unit, which is very good. Sucks that it can't be Java, have another unit. It's not that hard to do. And then his as an action, you can exhaust him to place the bounty on the person again, but this time they cost 2 less if you kill them instead of 1. So, I mean, it's probably better that Java's not attacking. 2 damage isn't really doing a whole lot at 7 resources, but I like this a lot. I like capture. Capture's going to be kind of silly. Automatically giving people bounties is really nice too. That solves a lot of the issues with consistency and bounties. I'm excited. He seems really cool, and he's a rare leader. But I think he'd also be really good in like draft.
Yeah, his ability to it's just that exhaust. It's like that Palpatine ping, right? Like we all kind of like, oh yeah, and then the Palpatine ping's insanely good. You could kill a unit, you could do all sorts of other things, you get a free draw card. This one is the same thing. Like you just give bounty. You just give a bounty to this other thing. And like it's just a generic bounty. It's not a broken bounty. It's none of that stuff. And then there's so many cards that interact with this. Like, I mean, holy crap. Like this is what I thought. Some of me thought this is what Afro was going to be. But oh no. Like, and we have we immediately my son and I we stopped what we were doing and built a Jabba. We tried a red first, and now we're on yellow. But we went ahead and we built 2 Jabba decks just right off the bat. Like, here you go. And I will tell you, so far in testing, it is working very, very, very well. Yeah, so it's fun. I don't know, fun. I like it. I like Jabba personally myself. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities for Jabba to really come in and do a lot of work, especially since he comes out at 7. You have a lot of big units out there that can come out that if you play Jabba at the right time, you can just capture it with another unit, especially if you have a wall of like Sentinel behind it as well, where your opponent has to work to try to get that unit back. There's definitely a lot that you can do with that can help delay or at least take off the tempo from your opponent if they're starting to gather enough forces to become a really big threat to take out your base there. So Jabba coming in at that time is just really, really good. I would love to see Jabba take out like a Palp or take out a AT-AT Walker or an Avenger. Like that would be hilarious to me to see that.
Yeah, and also it does have the hut keyword too, so there's probably a lot of interesting design space in there with other huts. Maybe we'll get pizza or something later.
That would be best.
Nice.
All right. JJ, bring us home. What is our last leader spoiler?
So last one we got here is the red aspect Han Solo, worth the risk. His ability is action, play a unit from your hand. It costs 1 less, then deal 2 damage to it. He does deploy with 5 resources. Comes in with 3 attack and 6 health. And his action is play a unit from your hand. It costs 1 less and deal 2 damage to it. This has to go hand in hand with all those grit characters. Goes really, really well with those Wookiees. This is going to be such a fun leader to have built around like a grit deck, and you can further amplify that with some healing factor as well. You want to keep those units healthy, but yeah, this goes so well with grit.
Yeah, I played a Han double red. It's weird. It's weird. It worked okay. We'll just put it that way. Like, I don't know if that's the right Han you should be building, but it's definitely different because, like, so for example, you could do it to K2SO and then it guarantees K2SO dies. So like if you need K2SO to die to be able to do that extra 3 damage is just crazy. And like, I don't know, like okay. So if you have the initiative and you have that stupid, that Alpha Star pilot. So the one ship we want for X-Wing that they won't reprint for us, you can play in Unlimited, and it's a 4/1, right? And it costs, I think, 3 I think that's what it costs to play is 3. If you have the initiative, you can use Han to play it out and just kill it and draw your 2 cards. Like it's just like it's a kind of a weird interaction, but like it's hilarious. You just play it out. Don't worry about it ever swinging, and then just take the 2 cards in your hand.
Yeah, I mean they already have a card that's like draw 2 for 3, right? But
yes,
Man, I can't wait to see this, especially with cards that like work off of like ramping up for Han as well. I think that would be really, really good to pair with this.
yeah. I don't know. I think actually this Han is pretty decent. Like it's going to give the the other Han a run for its money. Excuse me. All right. Shall we actually move into some of the other spoilers? I am going to take Look the Other Way because not only is it a trick card that now works with my Jabba, it is also an exhaust a unit unless that controller pays 2 resources. It is probably one of my favorite cards just because it's a dick card. And like, this is like, to me, this card is just like, yeah, you wanted to, you wanted to use your unit. Well, guess what? You got to pay 2 to use it. And like, I don't know, like this seems really, really, really good in terms of just messing with your opponent. I think overall it's probably not the best card, but it is like it does force them to burn resources, so they're playing less on their board. And I will say if you have 2 of these in hand and they have 2 units out, they'll just burn their resources. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I like it a lot actually, just because it's 0 and it just forces your opponent to waste resources if they need it. Also very good if you're running like Fennec unit, right? Because the more different costing cards you have in your discard pile, and 0s are kind of hard to come by unless they're like bounties, but this one actually kind of has a little bit of stuff to work with, so I like it.
Yeah. This one has real value. There you go. Like this is a real value 0 cost card.
I mean, joke's on you. I'm just like, I don't have anything to play this turn anyways, so sure. I'll make you think you're screwing me over.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just want a Sabak card too. Like, can we get a Sabak card in the game? That's what I want. All right. Alex, take the next one. Which one do you want?
Oh, that's a tough call. Let's go with Salacious Chrome.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a 1 cost green black unit. Underworld creature. He's a 1/3. When played, heal 1 damage from your base. As an action, you can exhaust him and return it to its owner's hand to deal 1 damage to a grounded unit. For an uncommon. The subtext is obnoxious pet, and it's very, very true. There's a card kind of like this back in Keyforge called Bad Penny that just kind of recurs itself for like it's just a super cheap card that recurs itself, and that's what this reminds me of. I like this card a lot. I think it's silly.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like the card. I actually put it back in my Jabba deck because I think it's thematic, but I think it also actually works decently well. And I don't know, like it's basically like a 1 cost. You get to heal your base, and then you get to deal damage to your thing, and then you can play a couple. You can play it another time. It's I don't know. I like it a lot.
It's also
and it works.
Go on, JJ.
I was gonna say it works really well too with the yellow Lando card, the regular ground card unit that allows you to. Actually, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm thinking of a different card. Never mind. Go ahead.
I was going to say I like the visuals of that capturing an Avenger with Jabba's ability when he comes out.
Yeah.
I think it's
I think this is a great card. And we got the creature feature, so I think we're going to get like a creature. There'll be eventually a creature deck that you'll be able to play that's actually creatures and not just people calling units creatures. So.
I just want Danny Trejo, man, to come out as the Wrangler. Like,
maybe we'll get that. That would be absolutely hilarious. All right, JJ, what's the last card that we have here?
All right, so the last one that we got here is a trick. It's called No Bargain. It's a 3 cost dark side aspect. It reads each opponent discards a card from their hand and then draw a card yourself. Pretty okay. Definitely works with helps building towards that discard build that you can start building now with red. Definitely a card you'll probably want to put in your arsenal to use as you're starting to control your opponent's hand a lot more. We'll definitely see some use of this because it works really well, especially later in the game when your opponent starts having less and less options on their hand. Being able to discard a hand or discard a card from their hand, which could be a potential like big card that can come out, is always very, very handy. So we'll definitely be seeing a lot of this.
Yeah, I feel this is, I don't know. This feels a little overcosted for 3.
I don't know, man. Hand destruction's always good. So, like, think about it. They're at like 2 or 1 cards. Like, you're not playing this super early in the game, right? So if you have later game stuff and they've got, you know, a limited number of cards in their hand, you just drop that and cut in half and gain a little bit of card advantage off of that.
All right, yeah, I guess that's fair. It just felt like I don't know.
Also a trick for your Jabba deck.
I know, I saw that too. That is that. There you go. There's a great use for it. Like Jabba plays it for 2. Bib plays it for 2 as well, technically. So, I love Jabba actually. Jabba unit. I'm happy that we're getting Jabba unit love. So, all right, well, let's keep moving. We got a million of these things to get through tonight. So I get to pick first. I'm going to go with my lady Bo-Katan Kryze. They got a Mando Trooper, double red aspect. It is a 2-cost 3/3. When defeated, for each player with 15 or more damage on their base, draw a card. I like it. I think this is great. Like, I mean, this card has very little downside outside that you have to play it in a double red aspect deck or pay the penalty for it. So for 2, this card's great. I like it, and it works with the Han. Like we talked a little bit about Han earlier. I was putting this in Han, bringing her out, you know, basically very cheaply because she just does damage, and then she comes out, you claim she does damage the next turn, blah blah blah. She's really good control unit. She also will work well in a Mando style deck if you want to pay the extra for it. I do question, like, is there a reason they made her double red? Is this like a hint? Do you think this is a hint towards pushing, you know, Bo into a double red as a Mando deck, or is this just like me being facetious here?
Probably to, like, if you're going to put her in a red deck and it's not a double red, you know, it's making you pay that penalty for the aspect. So that way she is a little more expensive because she is pretty good for a cost. She's cheap at 2. So you would consider, you know, putting her in, even if you only have a single red aspect. You're paying a little bit more for her, but it's just, I think it's just a way to gatekeep the points when you're paying her.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, a lot of blue Mandos are also really good, so maybe it's like a balance thing.
I hope so. Yeah. I don't know. I like it. I don't know if I don't know if I'd pay 4 for it though, personally. That's pushing that envelope there.
Yeah, 4 for a 3/3 that conditionally draws you a card or 2 is iffy.
Yeah. And you don't really want to end game if your opponent also has that much damage on base too, because then they're also drawing a card. So any hand destruction you were working through does not work now. I don't know. So whatever. I think they're working towards making mono decks good again, right? You know, like that's kind of like a thing that they want to push, and I'm here for it. So I don't know. Maybe we'll look at a Bo double red. Maybe there's enough Mando there. I don't know. I doubt it, but we'll see. All right, Alex, which one do you want?
I got to go with the Wild Rancor.
Yeah.
The 6 double red aspect, 6/8 creature with Overwhelm, and when played, you do 2 damage to each other ground unit for a rare, which is awesome.
Yeah, it just comes out and hits everything.
Yeah. The splash damage can be very, very good. I mean, like, there's been multiple times where, like, Bombing Run has like, done a lot of work, right? So not as much damage as a Bobby run, but also you got a 6/8 body with overwhelm out of it. So
Yeah, and you're not doing the damage to yourself either, right?
right.
So
I mean, you hit your own units, but you're not doing it to the Wild Rancor.
who does a Rancor have that is trying to eat in the artwork there? Come on, JJ, you should know this.
I'm not a good person to ask this.
That's not Luke though.
No, that's definitely not Luke. All right, we'll Google it later.
Make it. Yeah,
right.
I was gonna say. Yeah, I have no idea. It looks like a rebel helmet too, but like, yeah.
All right, JJ, tell us what the next one is.
All right, so we got Sugi coming up here with 4 cost double blue aspects, coming in with 4 attack and 6 health. And it reads, while an enemy unit is upgraded, this unit gains Sentinel, and also has Smuggle feature on this here. Gotta say, this is pretty good for double blue. I like that it is reliant on your opponent having an upgrade, and if I remember correctly, bounty would also count for that. If I'm correct. Like if you were to put a bounty on
the bounty upgrade cards, yeah, not if they
yeah.
inherently have a bounty.
Exactly, yeah. So, so that's actually pretty good. I think that this will definitely see some play there, especially for a rare. I would like to see. I mean, I wish it wasn't like a unique where you can have multiple copies of these out in the open, but I think this is a pretty good card.
It's cool that her smuggle cost is just her aspect penalty cost. If you were to play it out, not a double vigilant deck like that. That's a lot of flexibility you can use with that card.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people are like. The other one that the Hot Shot Blaster, right, has that yellow aspect penalty, so you could play it if you have a yellow deck. You just have to smuggle it every time, and it's super good to do some of those things. Like I won't lie and say that I have that in a couple of my other decks that are off colors, right? And I think that this is something that people we as a community haven't like brought to light yet, and I think that this is really good. Like that type of thing just makes us think it's just an easy resource choice. It's just easy. So I hope that they make a big explanation video that can be like posted and pinned so that every time this happens, all we have to do, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we will make a video that we can share with other people that about this style of thing. There you go, JJ, write that down. That's something we're going to do this week. So, because I think that'll be something that that'll be a mistake people will lean into. So, all right. So continuing with our double color themed, we've got three more that have it. I guess I'm taking second chance because I don't understand why Boba looks like this in this card and why it's a blue Boba card.
But I mean, you don't know.
I mean, I know why he looks like that, but I don't remember him having his helmet. Remember, didn't he lose his armor when he came out of the pit?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Good point.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand why he's got armor on. That's why I was confused.
Yeah, good point.
So I don't know. Maybe he was crawling out of a second pit. I don't know. Anyway, this is a upgrade card called Second Chance. You attach it to a non-leader unit, so I'm happy they made that distinction. Attached unit gains, when defeated for this phase, this unit's owner may play it from their discard pile for free. So it's a little bit of an interesting design space, I think. Like, I don't think we've seen that specifically. It's not really like an upgrade, right? Or a bounty, right? Like you play this on your own self, but it is 4 cost. This is a 4 cost thing. So like, I don't know what you're playing it on.
Anything with Gar Saxon.
Okay, fair enough, I guess.
Because if Gar Saxon leader is out, each friendly upgraded unit gets +1/+0, and when defeated, you can return an upgrade that was attached to this unit to its owner's hand. So you can just infinite recur off of Gar Saxon leader unit.
It's so good.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But
it's also a legendary.
Yeah, it is also legendary, which I thought was weird. Like this became a legendary that we're going to get. Like this is definitely going to be like if you open this, do not go no, let's get rid of it. Just hold on to it because this will be worth something, especially if Mono Blue Gar Saxon ever takes off. Like I don't know if it will or not, but if it does take off, this will be a card you want. It still is pretty expensive.
Sure, but it's really good for like Avenger, right?
Mhm.
Where you swing in, kill something, and then it dies, and then you just play it again and kill another thing. Just recurring any big unit is so good. Like even if you're like playing it kind of out of aspect, not like a mono blue deck, and just slap it on a crate dragon. Like what does your opponent do? They have to remove the upgrade, and they're just going to start taking a lot of stuff, a lot of hits.
Yeah. And the nice part about it is your unit doesn't disappear once you play it, right? Like it's not like it is that unit's only there for that phase.
Yeah, it's just whenever it dies. So don't take the initiative early when you have this card out, I guess, because then you wouldn't be able to play it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was funny because all right, so I was playing on Carabas earlier this morning before getting ready for the funeral thing, and I put this card in my Iden blue deck just for shits and giggles, and I put it on a Chilson, and they literally would just, instead of claiming, they would just pass. So I just claimed that. I'll be like, all right, I'm just gonna claim. I get to claim every turn. Like this is great for me, like thank you. And then they could just never kill. They could never kill Chilson. So then like I don't know, it was funny. So let's move on. I like the card. I think it'll have some use, but it is a little expensive. So we'll see kind of where it lands.
I mean, you don't put it on like a 2-costing unit. You put it on like your 8-costing unit.
Yeah.
And then it gets out of control.
Yeah. And thank God it doesn't have like a smuggle cost that's cheaper. Because could you imagine that, being able to play that for 6 resources and not have to pay double aspect penalty? Like, pff. All right. Alex, what are you choosing?
I'm going to go with Enterprising Lackeys. It is a 4-cost double green, 5/5 underworld unit. When defeated, you may defeat a friendly resource. If you do, put this into play as a resource, and then you can smuggle it out for 6 double green aspect. So if you're running a double green Palpatine, you will always have a unit anytime you ever want it.
It's so good.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's got like utility in certain decks, especially if like hand destruction gets really, really bad or whatever, right? You can just start smuggling this in. You have to pay a little bit extra, but it comes back all the time. So I think it's okay. 5/5 for 4 is not bad either.
Yeah, it's a higher power, unit, right? Like so it's not the worst unit. I don't know. I like this card a lot personally. So
yeah, I think it gets even better towards the late game, right? Especially if you're playing like a ramp deck where you start running low on cards, you don't have much to play up there, and now you start, pulling this out to start sacrificing that those additional resources that you weren't using before, and just keeping this out alive. And being a 5/5, I mean, it's just really good.
All right, JJ, you get the last one for this page. What's up with that?
Yeah. So last one here is the Chaos of War. This is a 3-cost double red aspect, and it reads: deal damage to each of the player's space equal to the number of cards in that player's hand. This is situationally okay. Probably good against those mill decks that have a lot of good draws in their hands, and they can keep a steady amount of cards in their hand. You can kind of take advantage of that and use this card to deal damage to it. Other than that, you're probably just playing this really early to try to, get anywhere between 4 to probably 3 to 5 damage to your opponent. In the meantime, so it's very situational. It's not very flexible. Other than that, you're just doing, just small damage here and there.
What if you have a Kylo deck that just doesn't really run a lot of cards in their hand? Then you just start doing free base damage to your opponent.
Or Han?
Yeah.
Yep.
I actually
Sabine.
Yeah, I actually think this is actually a pretty decent card for what it is, but it is, like you said, situation. The funny thing is too, like, so like if somebody plays an I Am Your Father, do you just let them draw the card so you can do the damage to their base? I don't know.
Oh, or you do those like waylays or that one yellow card that bounces everything back, or you're playing against a control deck early on, and like unblockable base damage out of hand is really, really, really good. So don't underestimate that.
Yeah.
Like that's why, like for cause, I believe it's so good. Other than you get the stack, it's just damage to base. There's nothing your opponent can do about it.
Yeah. I think in burn decks that card worked really well. All right, next one. I'm going to pick Frozen and Carbonite. It is a conditional upgrade attached to a non-leader unit. Thank you for pointing that out specifically. Attached unit cannot ready. When played, exhaust attached unit. So basically, your unit's worthless now until you remove that upgrade. I don't care what anyone says. I still think no good to me dead is better. I just think that for 2 costs, no good to me dead is better. But this gives you kind of a second tool if you really want to run exhaust mechanics as well, and they have to remove it or kill it. I will say, if you want to do that to one of my units in Palpatine, I'm just going to kill it with Palpatine and draw my cards. So, like, go ahead, I guess. But I'm thinking in Palpatine brain, I have Palpatine brain. So I think this card's okay. I guess we'll see how much upgrade hate cards people are running. Because I mean, if you capture that unit, like it loses this. There's just so many things that move this off there. Again, I think it's an okay card. I just don't think it's like, oh my god, look, we have the most amazing thing in the world. So
I think it's pretty solid. I mean, it's good to exhaust it. It's got to find a deck that really makes use of things like that.
Thrawn.
right,
yeah, this is an auto included in my Boba deck and in my Thrawn deck. Like, I absolutely like this here because, while I do like Good to Me Dead as a 2 cost, if you have a build that features like Jabba the Hutt and Bib Fortuna as a regular units, there you're able to really take advantage of playing this in addition to some of the other exhaust mechanics, and you can just prevent your opponent from being able to use their units there. So your opponent does have to have a way to basically take off this upgrade there in order for them to use any of the units. But when you're, I think this matters more towards the mid game, towards the late game, where they play one of those big units that's coming in to try to wreck everything, being able to play this on them to prevent them from being able to do anything with it. It's such a big deal. It's such a big way to essentially hold hostage that unit until your opponent finds a way to deal with it. So,
you remember that blue gauntlet card that just lets you swap upgrades onto other people?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's so good.
When you play, you exhaust them, so you just like kind of not daisy chain it, but like start swapping it out, which people you want to upgrade it, exhaust it on.
All right, so I see what you say. You play it, and then they do a card, and then you play your gauntlet or activate your gauntlet and just move it to another one.
Yep. And
that's so good.
Swap it around.
That's silly. All right. We got a new goal of the podcast, baby.
I mean, you got Fen Rao in blue, so when you play an upgrade so you can play it 2 less from his hand. Like you do some fun stuff.
Yeah, this is scum. That's why Alex likes this. Is the scum feel right here from X-Men.
Yeah, this is pure scum. Yeah.
All right, Alex, which card do you want?
Oh, I'm going to take the other Rancor. Jabba's Rancor. It's a unique Rancor. It's an 8 cost green black 9/9. Also has the Underworld trait in addition to the creature. If you control Jabba the Hutt, this unit costs 1 less to play, so it's a 7. Or if you use Jabba's ability and kill someone, now it's a 6 or a 5 if he's out. When played on attack, deal 3 damage to another friendly ground unit and 3 damage to an enemy ground unit. So you are hitting someone on your side for 3 and hitting someone on their side for 3. And then 9.
Yeah, I don't know. This seems crazy, right?
Awesome. I like this a lot.
Like this card seems really good.
Yeah.
I'm happy it's unique, right? Because could you imagine if this was not unique, like the walker, like, oh, let me play this, and then let me play a second one.
Yeah, I can only see in my mind just a chariot, but instead of horses, they're rancors and Java leaving him.
And the best part is you, because it's Java the unit, you can have your Java unit which has 8 health on it out, and you can play that. You can play it, and you get the discount for it too. So it's like a bonus. Just any yellow deck that can run Java, you can get a bonus to this card.
Man, yeah, it's so good. I love the albino rancor. Yeah, I think this is going to be such a good card to play. I mean, especially if you have like crafty smuggler out on the board, just take off a shield and deal 3 damage to somebody else. Like, it's so good. I like it.
Or if you have Java leader, you have 4 turns of just hitting your own self.
Yeah.
But also,
Exactly.
if you just don't have other units out either, and you just have the Rancor, it doesn't say friendly; it's another friendly, so you're not hurting yourself.
Yeah,
You're just swinging in, and just wrecking everything.
All right, JJ, are rebellions built on hope? I don't know. Tell us.
Oh man, so we got Cassian Andor, the ground unit here. I feel like he should have came out during the first wave, right? Because we already had him as a leader, but it's good to see him come out now. So he's a 3 cost, a red and hero aspect here, with 3 attack and 5 health, coming in with the rebel keyword. Comes in with smuggle, and then his ability is when played using smuggle, ready this unit. Which is really great, right? Because you can just automatically put him into your resource pile, and then you get the bonus of actually readying him when you bring him in through smuggle, which that's 5 cost for his aspects there. So you get that little bit of a bonus there just to play that unit from your resources, and then immediately do some work with him. So he's definitely a card that I would definitely like to include.
Yeah, I mean the smuggle cost is 5, so you're paying a 3/5. Well, you're paying 5 for a readied 3/5 unit, which isn't too bad. But yeah, no, I think he's solid. He's uncommon, so you'll see him around. He's rebel. You got a lot of rebel synergies out there, especially you have like Dodana out, right? And then you just smuggle Cassian out. Now he's a 4/6 that's ready for you doing literally no effort other than paying 5 for him. So, yeah, I mean, he's fine, I guess. So the next batch of units we want to go to, Tanner? Cool. JJ, you choose. I'm not sure which one you're going to choose because they're all really cool.
So I'll go with we'll leave Kylo and Ray for you guys because they're big cards. So we'll go with the small one first just to get out of the way. So we have yet another appearance of the Seek. So it's a 2 cost privateer Seek coming in with it as a single yellow aspect here with 2 attack, 2 shields. And it reads, while you control another yellow aspect unit, this unit gains shielded. So that is actually really good. I actually like to fly the other version of this Seek in my Boba decks because it allows you to exhaust units on there. You can have a pretty good start of a cheap space combat units like deployed there that have shielded. They're only 2 attack, but when you have a lot of them out on the board, they can definitely gang up and do a lot of damage over time. So this is something that I would definitely like to incorporate in my decks. So I like it. It's a nice cheap unit to be played right off the bat.
And it's so close to like Genesis red colors. So that's like what I picture in my head. I'm just like, yeah, X-Wing stuff that no one else will know. But I sent this to Zach, and I'm just like, you happy now? They threw another one in for you. Run your sweet. But a 2/2 conditional shield is not too bad. It's a crafty smuggler button space.
Yeah. The only issue I have with it, you have to have another yellow unit out to get a shield on it. So turn 1 play is not always the best, but if you think about it, for the most part, like a 2-3 versus a 2-2 on turn 1 really isn't that much different, right? Like the other one, if you play as a cost 2 with an extra health on it, most of the time it's just going to die anyway. So it's kind of inconsequential.
So I do have a question on the timing, right? Because it's kind of a little weird, right? Because could you essentially play this card and then on a separate turn play another yellow unit? Does it now gain shielded and then you
No.
lose that unit?
No.
Okay, it's only when you play it.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay, Chris, which one do you want, Kylo or Rey?
I'm more of a villain, so I guess I'll take Kylo.
There you go.
So Kylo is a 6 cost, 6/7 force, which is important, by the way. That force right there is very important for Palpatine's revenge. First order unit. And it is, while playing this unit, ignore his villain aspect penalty if you control Rey. So you can play this in a Rey deck now, which is, by the way, insanely thematic to Destiny, which, by the way, I think we called this last week. Did we not call this last week? I think, was it last week or the week before when we had your buddy on? We called this, we said, Rule of 2. I almost titled this episode that, and I decided not to. Anyway, his on attack now is give a unit +2, +0 for this phase. If it is a non-villain unit, also give it an experience token. So like it like is really building into this Rey thing. So if you think about it with the way Rey works, right? You know, and it says you ignore this while you control Rey, right? So you could play this with the other unit, or you could play it with her actual leader card. And the funny thing here is she works with the low experience tokens, and then you have this guy coming in, swinging, and giving another experience. So you could give like 2 experience in one round just with this one, you know, just with those 2 cards. It's just, I don't know. It's a 6/7, so it's got the extra health for it, which I think makes a huge difference. Like to me, this is a very Luke-ish. I still think Luke's a little bit better because Luke kills things. But this comes in pretty close. I don't know. Like this one comes in pretty close, and the fact that you could play him with Rey, is just amazing. Like this is amazing synergy.
He is a legendary, so that is worth noting that you're not going to see a lot of Kylos out for a while. But yeah, the 6/7 for 6 that you ignore the aspect penalty when you're playing Rey kind of makes me just want to put it in every Rey deck, and vice versa when we get to Rey.
Yeah.
And like his on attack can also affect him. He doesn't get the experience, but he can swing in for 8.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like another unit; it's just a unit. So if he's like super close to death, or like you need that extra 2 damage. He becomes an 8/7,
Yeah,
which is real scary. So I like this Kylo a lot. Yeah, it works
I'm
pretty
just
solid
waiting.
too.
I'm waiting to see, like, you know, Kylo Ren's like lightsaber come out as a way to expand that ability on there. Like I would just absolutely love to see that.
I guess I have Rey. She is a 5 costing blue-white for 4/7. She's a force and a resistance. I like that Kylo's killing the pass and she's keeping the pass. Way to go, guys. While playing this unit, ignore her heroic aspect penalty if you control Kylo Ren. And then on attack, you may heal 2 damage from a unit. If it's a non-heroic unit, give a shield token to it. And she is also legendary. So it's a little bit of like the inverse of what Kylo does, because he's giving out 2 extra attacks. She's healing for 2. She can heal herself, which is pretty nice. She doesn't get any shields, but also just having a healing unit's pretty good.
yeah,
And
I
she only
like
costs 5 for 4/7. That's 7 health is a lot.
it's a good thing. I think too, a little bit is a good thing that she like it's not the basic heal, right? Like where you can restore. It's not a restore ability. Like that way we don't have a million restore things, because like that just gets, especially at a 5 cost, it gets like really annoying to have millions of these restore things out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty good card. I'm not sure if I like her or Kylo better of these units. They're both very strong, it seems. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. I also really like the artwork on Rey, and I know it's a little bit contentious because it's very Western stylized art, but I think it's cool.
Yeah, and so the funny thing is if you go back to like the Destiny days, right? Like the Kylo and the Rey they meant to play together. Kylo's ability is you may move a shield from somebody, right? And it's funny because now Rey's one was giving shields, so it's just kind of funny that they didn't keep quite in the same vein, probably because it's going to be really hard with Kylo to say move a shield from another unit. Like I don't know, that probably just never going to trigger type thing. But it's just funny because that was like before you used to be able to with Kylo move the shield, so Kylo would have 3 shields. You would move a shield from Kylo to Rey, and then you would roll your stupid dice, and then you would do your damage and all that other crazy garbage, and then Rey would roll her dice, and then like you would resolve it, and she would give shields back, and if they were at 3 shields, she would re-roll her dice back into the pool, and you were just like, oh my god, and you could just like keep shielding them, and he would kill shields, and she would add shields, and that was like their synergy. So, these hyper, I will just say right now, these if you get hyperspace foils of these cards, they will be worth a fortune. People will these will be worth more than Luke's and Vader's, I think. Hyperspace foils. Yeah,
that Rey one would look real sick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
the full on red background.
Yeah,
very Samurai Jack style, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I am a little sad they are legendaries, right? Just because I think it's going to make it harder to collect some of them. But we'll see. We don't. Everybody's just doom and gloom about what's this stuff coming out, but I'm telling you, like, I mean, some stores, like I've ordered at 3 different stores, and so far all 3 stores have told me that they're getting enough to fulfill my order. I just can't buy like pallets worth of crap, So I don't know how much did you order, Alex? How many boxes did you order? 2?
Yes. Not from the same store.
Yeah, so you probably won't have the same issue either. Like if it's 2 boxes, you should probably get your 2 boxes pretty easily.
Oh yeah, they're already bought, paid for, and confirmed to be given to me. So
nice.
Awesome. All right.
I already paid for 2. I'm going to pick a 3rd one up in my local store. So I guess I'll have 3.
Yeah. Well, and if you think about it, I don't know how many pre-releases are you scheduled for? So I'm at 2 with a possibility of at least 1, if not 2 more already going.
I didn't schedule anyway yet.
All right. Well, you should come over and play with me and Zach. Zach's coming to ours on that Friday, and it's like you could take the day off and come hang out with me all day long. We could just sit there and hang out all day long and play cards. I don't have to work that day, so
stream it.
Seems kind of silly to take a day off of work just to go play a card game.
Maybe.
But anyways, next 3 cards.
Yeah.
JJ, go for it. Which one do you want?
So I'm gonna cover the most oddly designed one, General Riken, because it makes it look like he's a patron saint of Sentinels. With the halos around his face, like he looks so weird. So General Riken comes in here as a 6-cost green and hero aspect with 5 attack and 7 health with rebel official keywords on it. Reads when played and on attack, choose a friendly unit. If it has Sentinel, give an experience token to it. Otherwise, it gains Sentinel for this phase. Really, really good way to really buff a Sentinel unit if you can manage to also give it a shield indirectly through other means. You can really buff that Sentinel up like really, really good, and it allows you to also put in some of those generic lower units too, as well as a Sentinel as well, so that way it can help guard some of your more key units in the on your side. There's definitely going to be a lot of great utility for Riken. So that way he can buff everybody else. It also works on himself as well, because it doesn't say choose another friendly. So you can buff him and give him Sentinel if you want to, but definitely using some of those other lower units, some of those garbage units on the side. Really great way to slow down your opponent's advance on the ground game.
Okay, so can I ask you? I know this is not the guy, but the guy, like, I know who the actor is, right? I know who he is technically, but you know who he looks like? Kamal Jumani, or I can't remember, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he looks like Kamal. That's who that reminds me of. That's just like, I don't know why. I don't know if it's just like the facial expression, because he, like, in all of his stuff, he's always very innocent looking, and he has that weird, like, type thing. So I don't know. I'm sorry. Like, in my 80, like, I whatever. I'm just gonna say crazy shit. Let's move on. Just ignore me.
Oh no, I think he's pretty awesome for like green loots and stuff.
Yeah.
A pretty solid card. Also really funny if you ECL him out, give him Sentinel, and then also give him an experience token. He could do that. Probably, I think that's basically the only time you could do it, because it has to be when played and on attack. So I think he's pretty good. He's a rare, so he's not, super hard to obtain. I think this card, I like it a lot, actually. That means you don't have to necessarily run like more dedicated Sentinel cards in your deck, which is always good.
Yeah.
Man, giving a Sentinel to a grit unit too on top of that. Oh man, it's so good.
I'm gonna go with Woody Harrelson over here, Tobias Beckett, who I never call Tobias. And he's got hair. It's weird. He's a 4-cost yellow unit that's a 4/5 Underworld. When you play a non-unit card, you may exhaust a unit that costs the same or less than the card you played. Use this ability only once around. And he smuggles in for 5 blue aspect, which is weird because he's a yellow. So that's really cool. I think there's actually, I mean, if you're playing Thrawn, that seems like a really good card, right? Because you are probably going to be more event heavy or upgrade heavy, and those could be really expensive, and you could just continue to exhaust more things. I don't know. I think he's pretty solid. I don't think he's like the most incredible card revealed in this set, but I think he's not given the love he deserves.
Are we allowed to? Are we allowed to say like what I you know where he works really well in? A double blue deck, just like an hidden mill deck. Like, he's really, really good. Like, his smuggle cost is one more. Right. That's crazy.
So if you play him in blue, you don't put him down for 6. You smuggle him in for 5, which is nice.
Which means you get to keep the cards you wanted to bloody keep anyway. You don't have to like even make a choice. Like, this is crazy. To me, this is crazy. Like, this card, like, I think this card holds like extreme value personally. If you're playing blue deck, right? It has to be a blue deck. I don't know. I have this in my. I upgraded my Island deck with this in it, and it 100% works very well.
Yeah, there's a bunch of really high costing blue and yellow event cards and upgrades. So,
yeah. I don't know. I think this is a sleeper card. I think people are sleeping on. So let's move on.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, like this card. I will 100% collect a ton of these cards. Collections Starhopper. So this. Why do we not have X-Wing anymore? And can I have this ship in X-Wing? I guess like it looks like a bunny. This looks like a bunny with wings. Like, have you ever like did you ever? Well, I guess there you go, JJ. Have you ever read that book where the mama bunny is telling the baby bunny the story? I can't remember the name of that book, but like,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Yes. Anybody that has kids that has read this book, and the artwork on that book is great. Like, I love that. That actually is a really good book if you're gonna read your kid's book. Anyway. That's what this picture reminds me of. Like, this would be like part of that kid's like and mama bunny does this and baby bunny tries to hop away and mama bunny comes back. I don't know. They ruined me with whoever designed this ship. I've never seen this ship in anything. So it's the bunny ship. I'm gonna call this the bunny ship card. It's a 2/2, 2-cost command. You can smuggle it in for 3 plus the green aspect, so you can pull it in other things. It's an okay card, whatever. It's a great draft card, I think. This is a great draft card because you can smuggle it in, and then if they're not playing vehicles in outer space, you can just, here you go. Other than that, it's a 2/2. that has nothing fancy on it. I don't. It's
It
whatever. So
looks like that robot from Mystery Science Theater 3000.
It does that too. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, it seems okay. I don't think there's too much to talk about. It is an
No.
Underworld card, I guess, if you're looking for that Underworld synergy.
The Spuggle thing is really the only key thing for it. So whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Let's switch up the lineup. JJ, which one do you want?
All right, so I'm going to take the Lurking TIE Phantom. I love it. I love this, the artwork on this. So clearly this is Echo with Collision Detector for our X-Wing folks. So this is a 3-cost yellow and dark side aspect card here, coming in at 2 health and 2 attack. And it comes with Raid 2, which bumps it up to 4 attack when it attacks. And it reads, this unit cannot be captured, damaged, or defeated by enemy card abilities. So you have to do a straight up combat against this ship in order for you to take it out, which is really, really great. And being able to deal 4 damage on attack makes this actually really, really powerful. If you're looking for a unit to shield immediately, this is definitely a very good candidate for a shield upgrade. So that way it can basically go to work and start dueling against the enemy space units and surviving that attack.
It's so cool. They put a TIE Phantom in this game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's nuts. It does look like Waylay would affect it, right? Because you're not being captured, damaged, or defeated.
Yeah,
So
good
you
call.
can still be returned to hand. But it does live through like Super Laser Blast, which is hilarious to me. And
It was lurking.
or more importantly, Power of the Dark Side. You choose this ship with Power of the Dark Side, and then it's not defeated, and you just laugh at your opponent for trying to do that because you get to choose which one.
You know it's good. You know that's going to happen at some tournament, and some guy's going to throw his cards at someone. That's going to 100% happen. They're like, that's not how that works, and you like throw his cards. Like, I'm done playing with you.
So you concede.
This card is great. Like this card, this hit for 3 costs. This card is just cat's meow. I love this card.
It is Imperial too, so if you're running like Tarkin, to start pumping it up, like what are they going to do about it?
Go kill it.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, I don't.
So yeah, this card's nuts.
Yeah, to me, this card is really like just so much good value, and yeah, you could play Veers with this card. Like, I mean, there's just so many possibilities for this type of card. So,
I mean, I would love to run a Tarkin yellow deck, just to keep on bumping this up, like with experience. Like,
and you could put a bunch of them out because they're not unique. So, just saying.
My whole fleet of TIE Phantoms.
Yep. Here you go. Here's 3 of them on the board, baby. Oh, you Super Laser Blast? I'm sorry.
Yep.
I just love that it just eats like a Death Star shot, and you're like, whatever. I'm cloaked this entire time. No way anything can hit me.
Yeah, like and think about it. Like Avenger, like doesn't you? If they play Avengers, like I'm just gonna choose this card too. Like it's just not. It's I don't know. So we haven't really talked about aspects, but like I feel like yellow is just getting so much amazing stuff. Like this for 3 costs, I think this card is very undercosted.
Would you pay 5 for it? That's the real question.
Yeah, yes. I'm pretty close to saying yes. I think I would have to. I would have to test it, to be honest with you, but yes, because it's essentially a 4/2, and if they don't run space, like space is not a thing now. If space becomes a thing, I would not pay that, but I don't know. I'm pretty close to saying yes. I think how about this? I will just be ballsy and say yes. I think I would pay 5 for that card, for this card. So. I know you don't like running out of aspects, so
I don't mind running out of aspects if they're worth it.
You don't like. All right, let's keep moving. Otherwise, we'll be here all night.
Yeah.
What's your choice, Alex?
I'll take Deathmark. We'll leave you with the fun one. Deathmark is a 2-cost red upgrade. Gives them +0/+0. Attached unit gains bounty. Draw 2 cards. You're paying 2 to draw 2 when you capture or kill the unit. seems okay.
It's
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that like messes around with bounties, and like those are solid. And drawing is, good, unless you have no cards. So it would be pretty funny to mill your opponent out and put it on your own guys and start forcing them to take the damage, but that's like super niche.
yeah.
But it would be really funny. I killed in sealed. I defeated my opponent because I forced them to draw with Yoda. They had no cards left in their deck.
That's
Or
hilarious.
no, it was forced choke. It was forced choke. I'm just like, whatever, just draw the card and die. So I don't think there's too much to say about that card.
No, it's okay. I feel it's a little overcosted, but we'll see. I mean, it's good for bounty type decks. I don't like it as much. So, you left me this because I can't pronounce names. It's Toro Calican. There you go. That's what I'm going to call it. Toro Calican. It is a bounty hunter. It is a 3-cost villain, 3/5. It is when you play another bounty hunter unit, you may deal 1 damage to it. If you do, ready this unit. Use this ability only once each round. I don't know. That's pretty good. Like, this card's, if you're going to play a bounty hunter deck, like if you're going to play a Jabba deck, this is a very good card. This is very
Don't use it on Greedo.
Don't use it on Greedo. Yep, because you would regret that. But there's going to be a bounty hunter coming up that basically says anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. There's another bounty hunter card that comes in shielded, and this works very well with that card. So this is an FYI. I like this card a lot. I have already started playing around with this a little bit. I think it's hilarious because it's holding Baby Yoda, and it's just kind of like, I would really like this card to capture Grogu because it'd just be funny. I think. I don't think we'll ever I don't think there's a great way to do that, but there is ways you can make this card capture Baby Yoda. Just so you know.
Nice.
Oh, we found the other bounty hunter. There we go. That was the next screen up. All right, Alex, which one do you want?
I'll take that Elephant Man guy.
Are we just going to call him the Elephant Man?
That's exactly what I read too. That's exactly what I read. Elephant Man, and I'm like, oh no, it's Ifont Mon.
Yeah, Ifont Mon is close enough to Elephant Man, and he looks like an elephant, and kind of looks like the Elephant Man. So that's what I'm going to go with. He's a 5-costing green villain. He's a 4/6 underworld. On attack, choose an enemy non-leader unit that attacked your base this turn. A friendly unit in the same area captures that unit. Seems okay.
Yeah.
You really gotta... Like, it's kind of awkward because it has to be on attack, right? And, I mean, it's like, you have to have cards that are, like, they don't want to kill for some reason. I don't know. It seems like it won't trigger too much. So, but if, I don't know.
I was gonna say, I think this will work well against aggro decks, right? Like, some of the Sibian decks that require you, or that people like to try to burn down your base as quick as possible, and they'll ignore some of your units in order to reduce your base down. I think that's where Ifont Mon comes in and helps, reduce some of the incoming fire that comes in there. Obviously, if your opponent's not familiar with this, they might fall into that particular trap. But if you have this out and your opponent's not attacking him, they're setting themselves up for a little bit of hurt. Of course, you could always do an ECL with this as well. And if you have it set up correctly, you can surprise your opponent with that. But beyond that, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it seems okay. I mean, ECL or timely intervention's fine. I just, it's okay. Might be pretty good in draft or like sealed or something. But I don't know.
It's good. It's okay in Jabba deck. How about that? There you go.
Sure. I don't know. I feel like they should be attacking your units, but I guess if they have enough health, they might just try to swing into your base. But if they know you have them out there, like they're just going to capture it. Like your opponent has to fall into it. Like,
Yeah.
They can just choose not to attack the base yet, or attack with other units or whatever.
Yeah,
And
I
has
don't
to be
know.
in the same area. So like if they got a bunch of space and you don't have space, like you're not doing anything.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I don't like the card personally, but whatever. Maybe it has some playability we just don't know yet. All right, JJ, which one do you want?
All right, so the one I'll take here is Evacuate. It's a 6 cost tactic, yellow aspect. It reads Return each non leader unit to its owner's hand. I feel it's too expensive for what it can do, but I guess around that same time where you're at that resource level, your opponent, there are some decks that can really wipe your side of the board really quick, and this is kind of like an emergency reset, essentially, like forcing all your opponent's units to go back into their hand. Could be particularly useful, especially if they already have like a bunch of upgrades on them, and it just forces them to retreat all those units. Of course, this doesn't affect the leader, but it's also expends 6 of your resources. So unless your opponent has already spent all their resources, this kind of puts you in a pretty bind to play if you're not able to follow up with anything else immediately on that.
All right. So I'm sorry. I'm going to cut it. I have to disagree with you. Like, I think this is a great card. This card is stupid. This is a stupid. Whoever decided, thank God this is not a trick card. How about that? And so JJ, so think about it. I got Boba. You've got 3 units out. Unless your units all cost 1 cost, you're not playing all 3 of them, and then they don't get to attack. So, oh my God, if your opponent has a board state, have a nice time. You don't have a board state anymore. Yeah, I know you get your cards back.
Yeah.
But you have no board state. You can't do anything. So if I have a board state if I have a Boba Fett out, if I have a Boba leader out, right? I'm sorry. If I have a Boba leader sitting out, this is now a 4 cost card. Because you just returned your thing, and I get, as soon as I attack, I get my 2 resources back. Or if
I have heard it referred to as Super Boba Blast.
There you go. Thank you. Like, I'm sure there's more uses for it than this, but like, I'm telling you, like, for 6 costs in a mid-range deck, this is nothing. Like, this is like, I have a couple of units out. If I can do 6 to 8 damage in a turn without you doing a damn thing about it, okay. And oh, by the way, it's going to take you 2 turns to play your units back down. I don't know. To me, this card is borderline. I won't say broken because it still is a 6 cost, but I don't know. This card,
legendary.
It is a legendary too. This card just seems really, really, really good. Really, really, hands down. Just I love this card.
It is very good against like aggro or really wide boards or like an established board, like if you have Luke with a bunch of units with shields and sentinels and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's like busted, but no. I think it's better than what you're thinking, JJ.
Okay.
It's the non-leader returning is what really makes it a lot better.
That's fair.
Yeah. Especially if like you're doing something crazy like Vader yellow or something, right? Like I don't know. There's a bunch of like leaders. Do it.
All right. After this set, you probably can now. So
yeah, I mean, it seems good, better than other cards in this set. It's a legendary, so you probably won't see it much in like sealed and draft, which is good because that'd just be devastating in sealed and draft.
Yep. It would ruin it. So yes, folks, if you play sealed and draft and you get this card, play it. Like obviously, whatever, just play the stupid thing. Just play that. It's just piss people off. All right, let's move on. The next one is the Hunter of Haxion Brood, which is what we were referring to up at top. It's a 3 cost, 4/3 common. While an enemy unit has a bounty, this unit gains shield. You know who loves this card? Jabba the Hutt. Oh, exhaust, give you a bounty. And by the way, I'm going to play this card cheaper, and I'm going to give it a shield. Like, it's just...
Well, not cheaper, yeah, because you still have to kill or capture the other guy, but he's still a 3 cost for 4/3, which is pretty good.
Yeah, this is a really good card. This is, I don't know. There's not a lot to say about it. I think this card is really good, and you should play this card if you're playing villain yellow.
Yeah,
It is an underworld with a play effect.
And a bounty hunter.
Relevant. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Alex, which do you want?
I gotta take that Arquintas assault cruiser, right? That thing is bonkers. It's an
Yes.
8-cost green space unit. It's a 7/8 with ambush. When this unit attacks and defeats a non-leader unit, so opening up the design space for leader space units, by the way. When this unit attacks and defeats a non-leader unit, put the defeated unit into play as a resource under your control.
So good.
It's 8, so you're not like early ramping, but it's pretty cool. And also just like adding more resources to you that is your opponent's cards, which is really good if they had like smuggle or that guy that recurs itself when it's destroyed or whatever. I think this thing's baller. I like it a lot. I don't think it's like incredible. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love this card personally. I don't think it's like broken, but the ability to like continue ramping is really fun. And I really want to hit that 14 endless legions. And that's one way of doing it.
Yeah. Well, and the fact that it got ambush on it, right? Like, so it comes in and ambushes and. Sorry, lurking Thai Phantom. You are now my resource.
Right.
And can you imagine I don't know if there's smuggle ones, but if you could ambush it in and kill a unit and then kill it and then it becomes a smuggle unit for yourself, like Merry Christmas, that's just even nice. This is like traitorous on steroids if you kill a smuggle unit.
And a friendly reminder, please remember to return your opponent's card at the end of the game. Back to them.
I play for keeps.
Yeah, sure. I'll take that showcase raid into my resource deck and have a great day.
Also, as Matt pointed out, like swooping down with this thing to start capping all the ground units, that's really fun too.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool. It's silly. It's probably not great because it's so end gamey.
So why is this a non? This is a Republic ship, right? This is a Rebel type ship. This is not a villain ship.
No, it is. It did come out late Republic, but it is actually an Empire ship. For the majority of the Galactic Civil War. Yeah.
Okay. It's just weird.
It's neutral.
All right, let's move on. JJ, which one do you want?
We'll do Daring Raid. So this one is a 1-cost red aspect tactic, and it says deal 2 damage to a unit or a base. Pretty sweet and simple. Pay 1 resource, do 2 damage. Choose whoever you want. Definitely a lot of use for this, especially if you're playing very aggressively. It's a very cheap tactic to play to finish off a cheap unit, or just deal that last 2 damage to a base that you need.
Look, I'm Kylo. I'm just going to spend 1 resource and play this card. Now I'm 1 less card in my hand.
Yeah, I mean, it also helps finishing off like Sentinels or whatever. Like that 2 damage goes
a long way.
A long way, yeah. It's like
it's a burn
half,
baby.
It's half open fire for half the cost. So
I like it. I like
it too. I probably have a hard time finding a spot for it in my deck, but it's not a bad card. If you know what I mean. Like it's weird.
I mean, I would definitely put this in sideboard, like 10 out of 10. Like have a couple of these in there.
All right, last one we have for this row is Altering the Deal. It's another trick, baby. We got another trick for Jabba. Jabba's, I think we're up to 14. I think we got 14 trick. Discard a captured card guarded by a friendly unit. So very situational. So if you're playing a capture deck where you're capturing things, great card. If you're not,
Elephant Mon, just saying.
Elephant Man just coming in there altering deals.
There you go. I think the artwork on this is actually really cool though. So I like the artwork on this card. I think it's an okay card.
Be pretty cool.
It's a 1 cost. Again, if you're gonna play any sort of capture mechanics, this works very well. As a big middle finger. So,
oh yeah, if this isn't a capture deck, that is silly. I was waiting for something like this where you can just start dumping the captured units. I actually assumed that was going to be like Jabba's leader ability. But no, just having this is awesome. I like this card a lot. Never played outside of a capture deck, but it's cool. It's rare.
All right, let's keep moving. JJ, your turn, baby.
All right, so then the one I'm going to choose here is going to be Val, yet another character that we get from the Han Solo movie. So she's a 2-cost, a blue aspect. She comes in at 2 attack and 4 health with Underworld. Her bounty is deal 3 damage to units, and when defeated, give 2 experience tokens to a friendly unit, which is actually really good. Now, the active player chooses the order of the abilities too, so you can essentially give 2 experience tokens first, and then do the bounty to deal 3 damage to a unit. But it's pretty good. You could potentially save the person that you're choosing, or that might end up getting killed, if you're sending her into to essentially, like, if you're trading with her, you can use her ability to give the experience tokens first before the bounty takes effect, or vice versa. If you're the one attacking Val and defeat her, then you can choose to deal the 3 damage before the experience is given out.
This card feels like a nightmare for TOs, right? Like, that's what this card feels like. This feels like yeah, let's just make the TO's job harder.
I mean, the reminder text is there for a reason, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So, but do they think? Well, they still have the reminder text and hyperspace cards.
No.
Well, that might be getting weird. I will take evidence of the crime because
Okay,
I don't know.
Tarkin.
Yeah, it looks cool. So it's a blue event. It is a trick. And it is take control of an upgrade that costs 3 or less and attach it to an eligible unit of your choice. This seems really good. It sucks that you don't have like Darksaber that you can take with it, but stealing a shield is really nice. Or man, there's so many upgrade cards now, right? Like, so just any of the cheaper upgrade cards, Mandalorian armor, Boba Fett's armor is really funny.
Could you do a traitoress, like an enemy traitoress, and move it onto one of theirs?
Traders cost 5, so you can't actually do that.
Oh yeah, good call. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a whole bunch of like any of the grapple gauntlet things, the flamethrower one. Those are all upgrades that seem good to take.
Or any bounty that's on your unit, you just give it to them.
Yep,
because bounties are upgrades, right?
Most of them are, yeah.
Yep. So I mean, like, I don't know if I'd pay 3 for that, but I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I'm a little bit weirded out by take control of the upgrade. So I guess, yeah, you would be able to just take a bounty off you and throw it on someone else. It should be kind of cool. I like it. It's rare. It's fun. I like the art.
Yeah, who is Ahsoka going after? Who is that? JJ?
It looks like a Pokemon trainer.
Yeah, I know it does. Or like a Wii Fit trainer or something. Crap. AJ, who the hell? Like, oh, whatever. I don't care. Just you
oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Pokemon trainer.
All right, so we're gonna go. We have a Super Commando squad. So basically, here you go, Gar. Have another bloody unit. This one comes in shielded. While this unit is upgraded, it gains Sentinel. So it comes in shielded. It's shielded and Sentinel, and then you kill the shield, and it's no longer Sentinel. But by that point, I don't know if you care as much. And oh, by the way, in Gar decks, it just does. It's a 5/4. So for 5 cost, this is a great card. And the best part is because it's shielded, you have to attack it and doesn't take any damage. So it could come out, and you have to take 2 units to kill it. So to me, this is like, if you're running blue villain, this is a pretty. To me, this feels like an almost instantaneous, like, I want this card in there. So I like it. I think this is going to be bonkers in draft. Like, holy crap. Can you imagine getting, like, here, I'm just gonna get this, baby. I don't know. This seems really, really amazing in draft too.
Yeah, and then once it loses his shield, that's when you attach the Mandalorian armor. So now it gains another
Shield
attack and 3 health and another shield
Mhm.
and it's Sentinel again. So,
and it's always gonna be Sentinel. So
yep, and it's Gar Saxon. It's now a 6/7 with Sentinel.
Oh my gosh, that's nasty.
yes,
Jeez.
It's super cool. It is also Imperial, so it does have Imperial synergy for like Tarkin. Like,
yeah.
just give it an
Mhm.
experience, and that will always be Sentinel.
Mhm.
Oh man.
So,
This is a very
So-
good card for 5.
Oh yeah.
and it's a common.
All right, let's keep moving.
Now we're getting into the mostly the leaked ones, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, we have one last authentic one. I'll take the Hutt's Henchman, and then you guys can have all the other stuff. And so they lifted the NDA this week, so technically any cards that come out can be in. Essentially, we've seen every card spoiled. I will tell you, the first thing I did is not put any of the showcase stuff in here. You could, if you would like to see the showcase stuff and you haven't seen it yet, by some weird chance, you can go to our you can literally go to our Discord. You could find the spoilers under our swoo section, and you can see all the showcases. I'm only impressed by one, which I guess isn't really that big a deal because I was only impressed by one the first time. So
Was it Gar Saxon?
no,
Because that one's awesome looking.
No, I don't like that one at all. I don't like it.
It's so 90s. It's so 90s.
I like Jabba. There you go. Jabba's the only one that I like.
He looks like Cable. It's so cool.
It does look like Cable. You're right. He does look like Cable.
Yeah,
Oh
he
man.
It's got the extra pouches. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And Matt, to answer your question from the last slide, yes, Snapshot triggers the upgrade aspect and makes it Sentinel. So you can attach Snapshot to this thing, and whether it has a shield or not, it immediately becomes Sentinel again. So, and then if you have Gar Saxon and you're running Gar Saxon, which by the way, I've been playing Gar Saxon, and I like it. I actually like playing Gar Saxon. I think that's kind of like the easy pickup deck you can give to a lot of people, but it's so good in that one. So I'll take Hutt's Henchman. It's a 4-cost, 3/4 shielded underworld unit. It's a great draft card, I guess. But outside of that, it's like Gar Saxon likes this card because it's a 4/4, but while it's shielded. But I don't know. It's
fine. It has the underworld synergy with like Xanadu blood, right?
Yeah.
So you can like pick it back up and put it back down and shield it again.
Yep. The artwork on this is amazing. Like, there you go. Like that's what I like the most about this card is I just like the artwork for it. So
Yeah.
all right. JJ, which card do you want?
I'm going to take Mystic Reflection here. So it's a 1-cost force that comes in with a blue and hero aspect. And it reads, give an enemy -2 attack, -0 for this phase. If you control a force unit, give that enemy unit -2/-2 for this phase instead. So you can accidentally kill somebody with the reflection. This is definitely a solid card here. I don't see why you don't run this in a Luke deck. Like, this is super good to help neuter attacks that come in. If you're playing like a very force heavy deck with Luke and like Obi-Wan, for instance, you can easily play this card and start just debuffing people that are coming in, and yeah. You can probably wipe out some lower costed units pretty easily with this card too.
There's been a lot of times where I play Make an Opening to kill things by giving it -2/-2, and this is a third of the cost.
Yeah. Yep.
Also, the artwork's really cool.
Yes.
It's gonna look really awesome in hyperspace.
Yeah, I love seeing the you can see just the make out of the fire trooper in the background of that behind the flames is a nice little detail.
Incinerator.
Yeah, the incinerator. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. If you're doing force energy stuff, I think it's great. It helps preserve your shields in Luke deck too, if they only have 2 attack or less.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, up next is Enforce Loyalty. It's a 2 cost double green aspect. Defeat a friendly unit. If you do, draw 2 cards. It'd be a shame if I defeated my own super laser tech.
Mm-hmm.
for a resource and 2 cards.
Kill Val. Give 2 experience tokens.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. There's some kind of like niche things you can do with it. I don't think it's like a super busted card, but I think it's solid enough. It's worth considering in certain decks.
My Pulp Double Green deck loves it.
There
I'll
you
tell
go.
That. For the specific reason you told me. So that's exactly what I use it for. All right. So we have 3 more. We have 1 more legendary. I don't know. Alex, you get to go again. How about that? I'm just gonna go random.
Sure. I'm going to go with a card that I could read well, so I'm going to go with Commission. It is a 1-cost green event. Search the top 10 cards of your deck for a bounty hunter, item, or transport card. Reveal it and draw it. I'll put the others back in the deck, random order, all that kind of stuff. Smuggle it out for 3. It's a great way of putting out bounties without really having to draw them and then put it in your hand and then dump it out there. I think it's pretty solid. I'll have to look at which transports are there because there's a couple transports for like clone decks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that might be some good synergy with there. I do like that it's just like play the bounty. Or like draw the bounty, like just dig for bounties, which is a lot of the problems of like you had a bounty heavy deck kind of like that. So it's nice. Much needed
Alright.
for bounty support.
Fair enough. Yeah. JJ.
As much as I would like to cover, DJ and the fact that he doesn't look at all like
Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, I will go with Imprison. It's a 2-cost blue aspect card here, upgrade or condition, and it reads: attached to a non-leader unit, attached unit loses its current abilities and cannot gain abilities. This is such a strong card, especially when you're putting it on the ground unit Luke's or Ray's or Kylo or anything that's just like a regular non-leader unit. There's so many cards that could get affected by this. You just basically neuter their abilities. It is so good. I could think of half of the Inquisitors that really rely on their abilities. Just such a great card.
Super laser attack.
Yep, exactly.
Be a shame if it can't be a resource anymore.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of a scary card for rare.
Yeah, and it says condition law, right? So are we gonna get more law cards? Like, is that gonna be a thing? Like, you're gonna have a law enforcement deck? I don't know. I don't like the artwork. I will tell you that. I think the artwork is trash. But I think this card is really good though.
And it should have been Barris. Barris should have been there.
There you go. All right. Yep.
Isn't that Morello? No, never mind. When I zoom in, it doesn't look like it.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. The last legendary for the set is DJ. In Destiny, DJ's ability was remove a die, and you would be able to do an indirect damage to a unit. So that was DJ's ability in Destiny. In Unlimited, he is a 3/5 underworld, just bland yellow, with bad artwork. And he says, when played using Smuggle, take control of an enemy resource. When this unit leaves play, that resource's owner takes control of it. I don't know why this is a legendary, and some of these other cards that we have are not legendaries. So I'm very confused by this. He has a smuggled double yellow.
7 too.
So it's just I don't know. I
mean, a 3/5 for 3 is actually solid.
Sure.
But his ability is weird. You have to really long play that. It also just looks like a really skinny Batista and not anything like Benicio del Toro.
No, I genuinely do not like this card personally. I think this is I don't know. Maybe there's some weird synergy we don't know about. I don't see it. How about this? I don't see it right now. So
I mean, taking control of your enemy's resource is very strong, right? Like, don't get me wrong, but like, if you're not paying a double yellow deck, you have to just smuggle them out for 9, and that just seems like less effective at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Alex, which one do you want?
Oh, I'll go with the Gamorrean Retainer. He's cool. He's a 2-cost green ground unit. He's a 3/2 Underworld. While you control another green unit, it gets Sentinel. It's like the Gamorrean Guards, but in green and cheaper.
Like 2 costs cheaper.
Yep, for a 3/2.
Yeah.
I like it. Seems pretty good.
It's a good 2 cost card. Period.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just a 3/2 with conditional Sentinel if you have another green unit. So,
like,
I mean, auto include in Jabba decks, honestly. Yep.
damn,
all right,
it's good.
JJ.
All right, so we'll go with the liberated slaves. So this is a 3-cost yellow and hero aspect. It comes in with 3 health and 3 attack and 5 health. Comes with a bunch of keywords on it. It has Fringe, Droid, Twi'lek, and Wookiee all together, which means that if there are cards that affect those particular keywords, they get all those bonuses in there. Probably will get stronger as more and more cards that affect those particular keywords come into play. But for now, for 3 costs, it's fairly decent card to have as a filler. Yeah.
Am I allowed to say Twi'lek and just like I really should like it's Twi'lek? Is that Twi'lek?
It's Twi'lek.
No, it's not. No,
It's not
nobody.
Twi'lek.
Yes, it is. Nobody says Twi'lek. Nobody says Twi'lek. Do I need to be? Do I need? Let me get an audiobook for you, AJ. This card's crazy, like in the aspect of all the stuff for it. Like right now, it does not a lot outside of the Wookiee. Like this adds like another Wookiee thing.
Yeah, it's going straight into my Fennec Wookiee deck.
Yeah. And like I'm happy we got the hyperspace version of this. Just because it looks really cool. Like I don't know, I like it. I like this card. Just I like this card a lot just for the artwork.
I mean, it's well statted too.
Yeah.
Hence why its ability is blank, but
All right, we have Jetpack is the next one. Jetpack is a 2-cost, 2+2 attack, +0 health. It's an item. It's an armor. We had Jetpack in Destiny as well. This is attached to a non-vehicle unit. When played, give a shield token to attached unit. At the start of the regroup phase, defeat that token. It also gets Smuggle with for 4 yellow. So it's okay. In the aspect that like you can smuggle it. It is a +2 attack. Right, the shield is nice for being able to attack into a unit. I think it's decent. It's hilarious because again we had Jetpack in Destiny, so I don't know. It's okay. I think it's an okay card.
you can search for it off commission because it's an item.
Yep. So
yeah, it seems fine. Like free shield token +2 attack.
Yeah.
You're probably going to lose the shield token anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
All right, JJ, which one do you want?
All right, so the next one here we're going to go is the Guavian Antagonizer. I believe they're the gang that went and hunted Han Solo in episode 7, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So it's a 1-cost red and black aspect. Comes in with 2 attack, 3 health, Underworld Trooper. It reads Saboteur, and it has Bounty, draw a card. Absolutely great card to have right off the bat for 1 cost. There's so many other bonuses you could stack on. There are a couple of cards that work off of having trooper cards on there, so you can really deploy a lot of these really fast if you have them in your hand and really early on, and they can definitely do a lot of work. So it's definitely a good card to have.
It's a 1 cost, right? Like this is pretty crazy for a 1 cost, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they get to draw a card, but still, I don't know. This is pretty good.
Yeah, that I like it a lot. I mean, card draw is, bad to give your opponent, but if it's for a One cost 2/3 with Saboteur. That seems like a decent trade-off.
You know, like, oh, you put a Sentinel down in round 2? I don't care. See ya. I don't know. I really like this personally.
I mean, you play a bunch of those to kill a bunch of them, and then you play Chaos of War and deal 1 damage to their base for every card in their hand. I mean, that's one way.
Fair enough, JJ. Fair enough. All right, Alex, which one do you want?
I'll take the bounty posting. Search your deck for a bounty upgrade, reveal it, draw it, and you may play it. It's great.
It's good. It's a good card.
It's very, very good. It's what you want in bounties ever.
Yep.
Like all bounty decks.
Yep, I love it. All right, we have Enticing Reward. It is a 1-cost bounty. Attached unit gains. Search the top 10 cards of your deck for 2 non-unit cards. Reveal them. Draw them and put the other deck on the bottom, blah, blah, blah. Then, if this unit isn't unique, discard a card from your hand. This card's really good. Like, I will pay 3 for this thing in a iron blue deck. Like, oh, I get to search cards for what I want, and oh, I get to freaking, I don't know. For 1 cost. 3, well, I guess 3 costs in iron blue. I like this card a lot. If it for not what it's meant to be, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps, especially if you have a lot of non-unit, like if you have a lot of units, but you also, have a fair amount of like events and stuff. It's pretty solid. Just kind of the reach for the filter.
I have something for JJ.
What?
Oh man, I don't know if you.
No.
You can't hear it?
Nope.
Oh, they're just saying Twi'lek over and over again.
No, it's not. I am 100% right. I'll figure out this.
Okay.
I'll figure it out. I'm gonna by the end, you're gonna hear this. So, all right, let's move on. I just like being right. I'm sorry. All right, JJ, which one do you want? You can how about you take the Twin Cloud card?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to go for. Finally, we get a cloud card. Finally, if only we had that in X-Wing. Anyway, so we get
no
neutral.
No, I don't want this in X-Wing. Nobody wants to buy a $20 pack with those ugly looking things in it.
This is the space motorcycle with the sidecar, essentially. So this is the 3-cost neutral twin pod cloud car that comes in with 2 attack and 2 health. It comes in with the keywords fringe, vehicle, and fighter, and it comes with restore 2 for it. Pretty decent restore. Neutral can go in any deck that you want if you need some quick healing. And yeah, I mean, it can definitely serve its purpose, especially if your opponent's not doing much in terms of like space combat. You can have it flying over there and yeah, be great.
Seems okay in draft and sealed.
Yeah.
We'll throw Tanner Bone there, so I'll just take Heroic Renegade. It's a 2-cost red-white for a 2/3 with grit. It's just okay, but really good in Han.
There you go, baby. It's great in Han. I played
Where
it
it
in
becomes
Han
like a 4/1.
Yep.
So,
which you then just kill because you don't want to take 4-1 damage.
Yeah, you just Vader it and then it dies.
Yeah. Yep. All right, we have the Weequay Pirate Gang, which has a nice Hondo appearance on it. My favorite character, nice. Hondo. It is a 4-cost 3/3 Underworld. It comes in with ambush. It is a smuggle for 5, which I think is really what the piece of it here is if you want something to resource, it's a great card to be able to resource. But again, for 5 costs, even for 4 costs, a 3/3 with ambush is it's a little overcosted, but it's I still think like the ambush piece of it, like this gives you a resource card and an ambush card, so you can, if you need it as an in case crap happens, that's what this card is for. So
yeah, I mean it's pretty solid. Smuggle and ambush is I think that's the only card that has it, so that's nice.
Yes. Yep.
It's
All right,
definitely a
let's
surprise.
Yeah,
Yep.
it definitely, yeah, it's not one I think that we ever thought we were going to see specifically. I never expected to get a smuggle ambush card like that, but
It's nice. Good thing it's only a 3/3, or else I would get kind of bonkers.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Alex, grab us another one.
I gotta go with the Trandoshan Hunters. It's a 5-cost red black for a 6/4 Underworld and Bounty Hunter with Overwhelm, and when played, if an enemy unit has a bounty, give an experience token to this unit. It's so cool. I love the Trandoshan species like as a whole, despite liking Wookiees as well. But it's a 6/4 with Overwhelm that like you play and it gives an experience. It's a 7/5. If you have like Jabba, for instance, as your leader, just tossing out bounties, or Bosk, who is a Trandoshan himself, you load that deck up with a bunch of bounties. And that Overwhelm could actually get a lot really dangerous.
In a red Jabba deck, this is a 7/4 just to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, you have to kill it right away. You have to kill this thing.
It does die to open fire, though,
That is true.
and force choke.
Well, no, it won't die to open fire if you have a bounty out, because it'll be a 7/5.
Yeah.
And it'll just die to force choke
It'll die to force choke, yeah.
and take down. And fell the dragon, actually.
Man, you make this card get worse the longer you keep talking about it.
Just
hey,
because
look,
there's so many
5
counters
cost-
to every card in the game. I don't know what you want.
Which is fine though, but like if your opponent is wasting their card to take out this 5-cost card, and you have other units coming in that are a bigger
Not sure
threat,
if it's counting as a waste. If they're force choking, it's just 2 or 1.
that's fair.
But anyways, JJ, what card do you want there?
So I'm going to take the Hunting Nexu. It's a 4-cost single red aspect that comes in at 4 attack, 4 health, and it reads: while you control another red unit, this unit gains raid 2. This would absolutely go great in an IG deck, I think, especially if you had 2 tubes. That gives that bonus raid. Like, this thing can hit super hard. For 4 costs, you can essentially, if you have 2 tubes on the board up there, it turns it into a 7/4 when it's attacking. And since it's not unique, you can have several of these on the board. This thing can absolutely decimate on the board. Really good.
Yeah, they do seem scary if you don't actually like take control of them. They're like, do anything about it, because it becomes essentially a 6/4 for 4.
Yeah.
All right, the next one is Ruthless Assassin. It's a 2-cost, 3/3 Underworld Bounty Hunter, villain only, Overwhelm, and when you play it, deal 2 damage to a friendly unit. So it is essentially a 2-cost Death Trooper.
One-sided Death Trooper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wrong-sided Death Trooper.
So it's not wrong-sided. I don't know about that.
I mean,
just
it worked
said on
well
your
with
Renegade.
Grid.
What's that?
Oh, no, never mind. Renegade is heroic. Never mind.
It works well with Grid units. I don't know what species those are, but I always think they're hilarious anytime they're like doing things because they're so derpy looking. I love them.
All right, that's fair.
It's
whatever.
just a weird
It's an
quirk I
okay.
have. I think they're so stupid looking that like they could be flamethrowering me, and I'm just be like, oh, he's funny. Look at him trying to be hard.
All right, let's keep moving.
Last
4 more cards. Yeah.
I'll take
Go for
I'll
it.
take Bib Fortuna's cousin in Wanton Insurgents. He comes in at 3 cost, single red aspect with 4 attack, 4 shields with rebel keyword on here, and it reads: bounty, deal 2 damage to a unit. Granted, it doesn't have to be a enemy unit; it could be a friendly unit if you really wanted to do that. But for 3 costs to have a 4/4 on the board that has rubble that can be affected by like Dodana, solid unit to have in your Sabine decks. Really good.
Yeah, I think it's pretty solid. 4/4 for 3 is not too bad. I mean, the bounty's rough, but there's ways of mitigating that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Alex.
I'll take the Valiant Assault ship because I think that what ship is that? Is that another Azatok?
No, that is Mando's ship. That is the ST-70 assault ship.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Then it's got paint on it. It's not blindingly silver. I can't. I can actually see it.
Chrome, baby.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a Razor Crest. Cool. Anyways, it's a 4 cost red white for 3/4. It's a fringe vehicle and a transport. So it works well with commission, damn it. It's got Saboteur, and on attack, if the defending player controls more resources than you, this unit gets +2/+0 for this attack.
Boo.
Seems okay.
I'm not a fan of
JJ hates this.
No, not a fan of the stat line. It should have more health, honestly.
Maybe. I don't know. It's like in Sabine or decks similar to that, right? Like you're capping out at like 5 resources, maybe 6. So your opponent probably has more than you. So it can actually start swinging in for 5 with Saboteur in space, which is really nice.
That's fair.
I think this is a pretty good card, personally. So, and it's got the heroic aspect to it, right? So it has the ability to be part of 4 costs, I believe in. All right, Principled Outlaw. On attack, you may exhaust a ground unit. It is a 4/4/4. It's a hero yellow. You can also smuggle it in for 6, but you have to have the yellow hero for it. So it's either a 4 or 6. It's got the native on attack. You can just exhaust a unit. I don't know. This seems pretty good for 4 costs.
Yeah, on attack, exhaust a ground unit's very, very good.
Like, this seems crazy, right? Maybe I'm crazy.
I don't think he's like super busted, but just like exhausting another ground unit on attack is very strong, especially if they like pulled out their leader. You want to make sure your leader comes after this guy. So,
yeah. All right. What's the last one we got here?
Oh man, look, it's a YT 2400.
Hey, and
it almost feels like it feels like they just put like a card on top, like right underneath it to block out the ability. That's what it looks like.
No, I don't think that thing has an ability.
No.
The Desperado Fighter. It is a 5 cost red white, and it's 5/6 underworld vehicle transport. That's it. No ability, but it's a YT 2400, and that's super exciting because that's like Dash's ship.
But it's not Dash, baby.
Right. It's not the Outrider.
Like, could you imagine if it was Dash?
It's not broken enough for Dash.
It's just telling us that Dash is on the way. That's all it is. And Lebo. We gotta have Lebo too.
I don't know. We'll see. But it's a 5/6 for 5, which is actually really good in space. And it's a desperately needed hero red space card because the one that we have is the black one, which doesn't do much stat wise, just being the 4/4. So now that we get a space ship that I can actually hit pretty hard, it feels like a nice niche for that.
Yeah, I just think it's again. I think a draft this becomes a really good card. I don't know. I think this is a pretty decent card personally overall.
I mean, JJ, if you're building that wedge deck,
yeah,
it's an ambush 6/7.
Yeah,
for 5.
That's really good, actually. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna see if this works a minute. Because if it does,
well, it's all 54 cards that we went through.
You aren't going to be able to hear it, I bet.
I don't think anyone cares the correct way of pronouncing it.
I do. I care, Alex. I care because I'm right. That's why I care. I care because I'm right and because JJ is wrong. That's like Remember when we had a bet? We should have bet on this because I could have bet you could be wearing a Lions hat for the next season. And oh, by the way, the Lions kept all their offensive lines, so we know the Lions are already going to be better than the Giants next season anyway. So there you go, baby.
We'll see, buddy. We'll see.
In
I don't know what
better
episode-
news, we fired Monty Williams 1 year in.
Yeah.
Dude got paid $5.6 million for every win he had with the Pistons this year.
Oh my gosh.
We told him, no, it's fine. I understand you have like 4 years or whatever left on your $65 million contract. Leave us. That was a disaster. We went 0-28. Go away. I'm so happy. We can actually get a decent coach. Want to help us, but it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we had a great night. Holy crap. We had a lot of spoilers tonight. If you are just joining us, if you're new to the show, we did a deck tech this week. So just as an FYI, we did deck tech. We will be doing a few more of those as we start building them. It'll be Alex's turn to build us a crazy deck that nobody will think of that we could do, and then they could play him and he could be sad when he loses against it. Because it'll be like in theme with our X-Wing podcast. If you're listening to this and you like our X-Wing podcast that we had, I apologize. We have not done our X-Wing episode yet, only because we just have not had a lot of time to be able to do some of that stuff. And so it's just, we want to make sure that I'm kind of waiting for some more information from the X-Wing Alliance before we do a big, like send-off type thing, for it. So more to come on that. If you are newer to the show or you liked our deck tech and you're joining us because of that, hey, you can subscribe right on YouTube. You can subscribe right on Twitch if you would like. We are live every Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern. And you're welcome to join in the chat. We have some people that are some very dedicated folks that love to come join us and hang out with us every Sunday night. With that being said, thank you all so much for joining us. Next week, we will be going through set 2 drafting. And yes, I don't care if Alex likes this topic or not. That's what we were going to be talking about. Is I want to talk about drafting. I want to talk about a little bit about, like kind of the caveats to it. Like, what are you looking for when you draft? What are you looking for when you're playing sealed? Because I think that's like super important to this game. Like, I don't know about you, but I enjoy it a lot more sometimes than even just playing, some of the other versions of it outside of Twin Suns. I like Twin Suns the most, personally. But either which way, we will be back next week, 9 p.m. Eastern, with more Planning Phase Syndicate, talking about set 2 drafting, and maybe we'll do a too early ranking for leaders. Should we do that? Should we do a too early ranking for leaders, where we set it out and then you can all critique Tanner and say, Tanner, you're wrong. That Kira is not the best, but Kira is the best, and Jabba's second best. There we go. So. All right. With that being said, thank you all. Have a good night, and we will see you on the Flippity Flop.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening.